Welcome to the very first podcast episode here. I'm so excited to be here and I'm so happy that you are here too. Welcome to the official birth of Motherhood and Beyond. In this episode, I thought I would just take you right from the beginning, talk to you about what Motherhood and Beyond is, what it represents, who it's for, how it can help support you in your journey, and all of the things. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Jenny. I am a full-time mum to my gorgeous little boy who is 3.5 years old. He's currently out at the football with his daddy so that I can finally get round to recording this episode. I work a full-time job, Monday to Friday, 9 till 6. And I am working on and growing my YouTube channel, my mentoring business, and all of the things that I've got going on the side. So it's safe to say that Motherhood and Beyond is a true representation of my current reality. And it's going to be the pinnacle of what my future vision is and how I see it really making an impact and how I really see myself supporting you on your own journey. So it makes sense to go right back to the beginning and talk to you about how Motherhood and Beyond has become what it is today. Now, before I had my little boy, I had this vision of what my life would look like. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. I'm stuck, I'm not. Being a mum is something I've always wanted to be. I am one of 10 children. Yes, I am the eldest of 10 children, and it's safe to say that I've been a very maternal person for as long as I can remember. I actually remember my youngest sister is 15 years younger than me, and I used to pretend, bearing in mind I was 15 at the time, I used to pretend that she was my little baby. I'd walk around in the pram and I'd be like, oh, I'm a mum. And I really love that. I've always wanted to be a mum. And at some point I will share our journey to becoming parents because it wasn't the smoothest ride, I'll be honest. But as I was pregnant, I remember I was leaving my old job. At the time, I believed I was just going on maternity leave because that was a plan at that time. And I remember on the last day, one of my now ex-colleagues, not for this reason, but one of my ex-colleagues said to me, oh, I assume you're going to give up your mentoring business now. And I was like, why would I do that? You know when someone says something and you're not quite sure, like there's just no link, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I was like, why? And I felt almost silly. I felt quite ridiculous actually, because I was like, they seem so sure in what they're saying. Why wasn't I getting it? Like, why wasn't I understanding what they are saying to me? And they said, oh, because you're going to become a mum. And I was like, oh, no, I'll be fine. And I left it. Didn't think anything of it. I don't feel any bad energy towards this person. I didn't feel anything. I was like, oh, no, it'll be all right. And when I got in the car, less than 20 minutes later, after that conversation, I got in the car on the way home. And I'm the kind of person that I need a little bit of time for things to sink in before I can make decisions or choices, take actions. Sometimes just to fully understand what is happening in front of me, I need some time just to let it sink in. And I feel like that's what happened. By the time I walked out of the building, got in the car, and really thought about what this person said, I was like, why would you think that? I'm about to have a baby, and you've basically told me that I'm not able to do something that I love if it's not directly me being the role of mum. And obviously at that point, like, my little boy is my first child. I've not had any other children. So I knew that it was going to be a complete life change, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever been lucky enough to be. But I was like, I really enjoy my mentoring business. I really enjoy working with women and helping them in the way that I do. And so I was like, I actually felt quite guilty towards my unborn child, because I thought, well, we've had such a challenging journey to just get to this point. And I felt a bit selfish, a bit greedy, a bit ungrateful. And I already had the mum guilt before the baby was even born. And I was like, does it make me a bad person because I feel like I would miss being a mentor? I would miss working on my YouTube channel. I would miss learning how to be a public speaker. Does it make me a bad person because I want to be mum, but I also want to continue working on these projects so that eventually they can become maybe my full-time thing or whatever? And I felt really, really guilty. And I was actually really, really upset and disappointed. And I thought, I knew being a mum would completely change my life. Of course it would. But in my head, I thought, am I just being delusional because I thought I could do both? Yes, my life would change. Yes, I won't have as much time. Yes, I'd have to be more intentional with the time that I do have. But I just had this assumption that even though things would look different, I would still be able to grow my business. And on my way home, I remember crying because I was like, I'm going to miss working on this. I'm going to miss recording content. I'm going to miss sharing my message. I'm going to miss envisioning the impact on women that I truly want to help and support. And then on the other hand, I of course had so much guilt because I was like, am I being ungrateful? Like, I'm finally having a healthy pregnancy. My little boy is literally weeks away from being born. Didn't know he was a boy at the time, but my little boy was literally a few weeks away from being born. Like, does it make me a bad person? And so, safe to say that when he arrived, I didn't think about my mentoring business or anything so much, because you're obviously so focused on this little bundle of joy, or bundle of energy, I should say, this new person that you've been blessed with, that we've been waiting so long for him to come. And obviously, at least the first few months, we were completely in parent mode and adjusting and just all of the things that you do when you first have a baby. And then after about 6 or 7 months after that, I was like, I feel like I'm ready to start to get in a bit of a routine with him, with me, like showering at a reasonable hour of the day, brushing my hair every day, like starting to go out for coffee, see friends. I mean, when he was born, we were in that time where we weren't able to go out anywhere. So my maternity leave, was safe to say, was just because we were in lockdown. So that was that. So I didn't actually get to see anybody apart from, well, the 2 people I live with, which was still lovely, but just to put that picture out there. And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm ready to just, look at adding to what I'm doing, because, he was starting to get quite independent in playing, and I was like, he could just play on his mat, play with his little toys and his mobile thing we had, and I could maybe start writing content. I could maybe start filming a video. I could maybe start, just start doing something. And this thing came into my head, and I was like, oh, I really had to wrestle between the guilt of my little baby boy lying there, very content, very happy, and thinking, oh, I shouldn't do both. I shouldn't have both, because if I am solely on him, then it means that I'm going to miss this vision that I had for myself, what I would just maybe say non-mum stuff, like business stuff, for example. But then if I was to sit there, even though he's directly there next to me and he's content, he's happy, he's playing, well in my sight and my reach, very loved, very safe, very looked after, like no issues at all. But then if I get my phone out and just record an Instagram story, for example, then it means that he's missing out on something. And I really struggled with that. And that took me a while to get my head around this new feeling. I mean, you're all like hormonal and emotional anyway, But yeah, the first year was very much about navigating, and I think everybody who is a mum will be able to resonate with that. Like, whether you have a business or a job or you don't, that whole first year of your life, I feel like, is navigating this whole motherhood parenting journey anyway. So that was like the first year, and I would say, so he's now 3.5, let's say the last 14 months, 12 to 14 months, I've really felt called to change things up in my business. And I really wanted to get quite specific in the woman that I wanted to help support. And this story that I just shared came to my mind, and I was like, I want to do something with that, because this person could not be the only person that has this perception that when you become a mum, you are mum and you can't do anything else, and if you do, then you're not a good mum or whatever. I can't say that's what this person meant by that, but that's just how comments like that do tend to make you feel. I don't know if you've been told that before, but as time has gone on, it's become clear that even if nobody has said it to you, you will probably have had a time in your life where you felt guilty for wanting to do something else, even if it's just go out for coffee with your friend and leave your little boy or your little girl with your other half. Like, there is a perception that mums have, not everybody obviously, but there is a perception that mums have that you're a mum, and if you want to do something else, then it makes you ungrateful, it makes you greedy or whatever. And so something clicked in my head, and I'm like, I can use this, because yes, it did affect me, but I am somebody, I've been in the personal growth, personal development space for 7 years now. I've invested in myself with mindset courses, and I'm studying NLP at the moment. Like, mindset and confidence has been such a massive part of my whole journey, which is why it's something that I now mentor women on. And I wanted to share that you can have these beliefs and these perceptions, but they're only true if you let them. If you believe that you can only be a mum and you shouldn't have the YouTube channel, you shouldn't have the studying a qualification, you shouldn't go for the promotion at work, if you truly believe that, then those things are not going to become your reality. They're not going to be, they're just not going to happen. And so in that case, you let that belief become true for you. However, from being at this point where I am now, where I have worked on my own mindset and energy, I feel like I want to share what I've learned, the journey, the process, and how I'm able to turn it around. And so when I thought about this story again of, oh, you're going to have to quit your business because, you're a mum and that's what you need to be, I am the kind of person that eventually, this was years later, that's why I say eventually I get to the point and I'm like, no, I don't. I am a brilliant mum. And I pride myself on that. Everything to do with parenting is an absolute priority and non-negotiable. However, I am able, I am capable, I am deserving, and I'm worthy of doing other things, like sitting here recording this video for you while he is very safe and very happy with his dad at the football. I don't have to be with him every minute of the day, and I actually feel like, I'm not saying for you, I'm not saying for everybody, but for him, it's really good for him to have, and us too, it's really good for my little boy to have time with just mummy and time with just daddy, as well as together. I don't need to be there all of the time. Obviously, as long as the parent's with him, that's all that matters. And so I'm like, no, I'm able to do these things, and I love doing stuff like this. And that's where Motherhood Beyond has come from, because yes, you are a mother, you are an amazing mum, and you do amazing things. However, there is so much more beyond that. And I mean in a way that there is so much more to you than being a mum. There's nothing around our identity, which is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing around our identity that says when you become a parent, you are 100% mum. You're not Jenny, you're not Sarah, you're not whoever, you're just mum. And this isn't to say that, you know, being a mum is not a priority. Again, it's my number one priority, number one non-negotiable. Like, everything else will stop for me to be a mum, and that's how it would always be. It will always be. But I also know that I am deserving and worthy of growing my YouTube channel, hosting my events. I'm able to be a mentor to the mums that I want to support, and I'm able to do all those things because it's what I enjoy doing. It's what I love. I see it in my future vision. I've got so many like big dreams and goals around all of these things, and why shouldn't I go for my own dreams and goals that I've had for years just because I've become a parent? Yes, things need to change. Yes, you need to have a support system in place. Yes, the time that I'm able to film or edit or host events or speak or whatever won't have the same flexibility as I would have had before I had my little boy. I mean, that's an obvious thing. But with some tweaking and changing and organising and flexibility and resilience and confidence, you are able to have it all. You are able to work towards those big dreams and those goals. Again, your life would have changed since you become a parent, but it doesn't mean to say that you can't do anything else. Now, that is really, I guess, the whole message around what this video was going to be all about, what Motherhood and Beyond is all about. And I really want you to just take this away with you and just be like, just remember that you're capable of doing something else that is not mum. You are able to do something else that is beyond that motherhood identity that you might feel like you currently have to be that identity. Like, that is your identity and that's it, because it truly isn't. Yes, again, with a bit of tweaking, bit of changing, bit of organisation, bit of flexibility, bit of resilience, bit of confidence, bit of communication, all of the things, you will have to make changes, and it is, you know, different to what your life used to be like before you were a parent. But it doesn't mean to say that because you're mum you can't do anything else. That's what this whole thing is about. That's what Motherhood and Beyond is about. I want to support you in your whole journey of motherhood, but I'm also here to support you in remembering that big vision that you have, whatever that vision is. Whether it is to start a YouTube channel, whether it is to start a blog, whether it is to go for that promotion at work, whether it's to get more balance in your life, feel more organised, whether it's to have better communication with your partner so that you can go for coffee with your friends, you can manage appointments and all of the things, and you don't feel like you have to do everything for everyone. So that's what I'm here to do. I am here to fully help you be so confident in yourself and your worth and your capability so that you can balance being a mum, a partner. If you have a job, balance that with your business or whatever your future vision is. Really seeing that vision as something more than what it is now, which is probably a very blurred out picture so far down the line you can just about see it. I want you to start seeing that vision and that possibility. I want you to start seeing that vision as more than just, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to have that successful YouTube channel? Wouldn't it be nice to quit my job and become a full-time mentor? Wouldn't it be nice to go for that public speaking job? Wouldn't it be nice to see my friends more often? Wouldn't it be nice to have date nights with my partner? Wouldn't it be nice to do all of these things? Yes, it would be nice, but you know what? Let's go from wouldn't it be nice to how can I make it happen? How can I make that not just be a possibility? How can I make that be my reality? How can I make it happen? And I know it's not easy. This whole thing is not easy. This whole setup took me over an hour to do. You won't believe it. This room is our spare room. I had a spare bed out because we had friends staying when we went to our friend's wedding. I had stuff everywhere. And I tidied it up this morning because your environment is so vital to your support system. I couldn't have just got this camera out and put it down, which is currently sitting on a candle glass container. Maybe not the safest, but hey, I couldn't have just got this camera out and started filming because I needed to tidy up. I would have had to have perched on the bed. I wouldn't have been comfortable. There's just so many things. And a real life example that I'm going to leave you with is around, don't wait to feel ready to start. Don't wait to be perfect to start. I started my YouTube channel years and years ago, 6 years ago maybe, and I've posted, there are videos on my channel that you can see. Some of them are recent, but you will see that I go through phases where I post a video maybe once a week and then I don't do anything for ages, and I put it off and put it off. I put off starting, but then also when I started, I put off being consistent because I felt like I didn't have the equipment to be a successful YouTube, to be a proper YouTube. I didn't want people to just look at my videos and feel like, well, the quality is rubbish, so she's going to be rubbish. What she's got to say is not worth listening. And so I did things like I bought a ring light off Amazon, which I'm using. I bought this podcast mic, which I bought 3 years ago. This is the first time I'm using it. I bought a stand for my laptop. I bought my camera, for example. So then I had this belief that I can't start it because I don't have the equipment to be good enough. So I bought the equipment and then I still didn't do it. So it's just proof to say that our limiting beliefs are just utter rubbish because they only need to hold us back if we let them. And the key really, the secret here, it's not actually a secret. The real thing here is you just have to make a start. I know it sounds easier said than done, and you might roll your eyes once you hear this, but the real thing is, the true thing here is you just got to start. You've just got to take even just a tiny, tiny little bit of action, whether it be tidying up the room that you're in so that you can start recording a YouTube video, whether it be creating a shared Google Calendar with your partner so that they know what your appointments are, you know what their appointments are, so you don't feel like you have to be in mum mode the whole time. You can share the load. Whether it be reaching out to a friend that you've wanted to meet up with for ages and actually book that coffee date. Whether it is getting everything out of your head that's currently making you feel overwhelmed because you've got 1,000,001 things on your to-do list, and just get everything out on a piece of paper and start to categorize it, start to put some kind of order into it, organize your environment. Whether it is any of that, just think like, what do you want your future to look like? And I know that sounds quite cliche and cringy, we hear it all the time, but my future is very much based around, of course, mum, of course, but also outside of that, I want to be an international public speaker and host my own in-person event at Wembley. I want to have a very successful mentoring business, helping mums just like you see, believe your full potential and get that vision, reach it, bring it into your current reality, and put the support system in place to help make that your current reality. Stop it from being something that you just think, oh, that would be quite nice. Actually have it and live it and breathe it and just be in it. That's what I'm here to help you have the confidence to see yourself as more than what you currently do, to see yourself as more worthy, more capable to do the things you truly want to do. And so that's what I see my future as. But if I was to believe this limiting belief of I'm still not ready, people aren't going to like my background, it's too basic, people aren't going to like what I've got to say. If I believe all of that stuff, and I don't just sit here and just get this camera out like I have just now, then how am I ever going to know that? And I know that I'm going to put videos on here that not everybody will agree with, not everybody will resonate with, and that's okay. That's more than okay. But I know the women that I'm truly meant to help and support and encourage, I know they're going to be in this space, and I know they're going to enjoy these videos, and I know that they're going to resonate with it and connect with it and connect with me, and I know that I'm truly going to make the impact on them and you that I was born to make. And I know that together we can truly make a difference. That's what I came here to do. That's what I came here to say. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. It's quite a just sit down, chat, like we're sitting together over coffee, really chilled out vibe to it. But I hope that you have got something from it. I hope, even if it's just giving you a little bit of inspiration just to think bigger, even if it's just giving you food for thought about what do I want my future to look like. And even if you want your future to look different to what your current reality is, it doesn't mean that you don't like your current reality. Don't feel like you have to be stuck or depressed or stressed or exhausted to want to create change. You can still be completely content and happy, which I am, but I also know that I've got this future vision that I want to live in. I don't want it just to be the future. I want to be in it. I want to be living it. I want to be in it. And so that's what Motherhood and Beyond is all about. That's what I am all about. And I can't wait to hear from you. Feel free to reach out to me. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to put your comments below. If you are listening to this as a podcast, then feel free to message me on Instagram. I will put my links in the show notes below. I can't wait to connect with you and really be on this journey with you. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you very, very soon.